It was like an education of like, you'll go through that system. You'll go to school, you go to college, get your first job, work your way up. And it was just seen as the norm.
Out of the cans, you're
I've not watched it yet. No, I've got to watch it. I mean, he only lives up the road from me. And Peter Kay does. They only live around the road from me. He don't know me. I've seen him in Chippy once. And that's it. That's the only thing, yeah.
Welcome to Luv Fitness Studios podcast, live from Manchester, UK, speaking to entrepreneurs in the fitness, health and well-being industry, sharing stories about the real-life challenges and hustle. Now, over to your host, Nick Phillips.
Okay guys, welcome to podcast number 26 with Danny Lee from Pirate Packaging. How's it going, Danny?
Oh, super, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for coming down. You come all the way from sunny Bolton?
Yeah, sunny Bolton, yeah. It never rains, but it pours in Bolton, you know.
Glorious outside today, isn't it? Beautiful day. I can't wait to get out there and get some grazing. So, Danny, I always like to go back to the start with my guests. Tell us a little bit about little Danny.
Right, so little Danny, I'd love to sit here first of all, and I'd love to sit here and say I was like the Jeff Bezos of the Cannon Slade secondary school, you know, where everyone thought I was going to be an entrepreneur, but truth is I wasn't. It was just a case of average lad, liked football, messing about with his mates. I never did the old selling toffees and pop and all that at school. That wasn't me. It just wasn't me. Yeah. I was just one of the lads. I think if you asked anyone from school if I was ever going to make it and be a businessman or anything like that, I think you'd struggle to find anyone that was like that. I was always an happy-go-lucky, tried to have a bit in the charm, and just built it all from there. So being a youngster was just basically just being me and having a laugh and a joke and seeing what's what. I think the plan for me was just to go through the career cycle, you know, go to college, get a good job, work your way up, make sure you're paying into your pension, retire in Spain. You know, and I think that was basically the plan. And I think a lot of people get moulded into that.
What was you like at school? Was you academic?
No. I wasn't at all. I went to a really good school.
Which school did you go to?
I went to Cannon Slade secondary school, which
Where's
is
that?
in Bolton. So you've got Bolton School.
Yeah, that's the posh one.
Which is the posh one.
Yeah, was that something like Harry Potter?
Oh, it's superb, yeah. So we used to look down our noses at them, obviously. But I lived just round the corner from there as well, so we grew up round there. But I went to Cannon Slade, which is, if anyone didn't get into Bolton School, they usually went to Cannon Slade.
Nice part of the world round there.
Beautiful,
yeah. My brother lives up there. So he's further up towards the Reebok. Yeah, he lives. I can't remember what it's called, but he lives down right near Bolton's football training ground.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's where he is down there.
Horwich in that way.
Well, a little bit of Horwich, yeah. Lockstock, that's the one.
Yeah, around the corner from me, that.
Yeah, he's up that day. So it's nice to spend a lot of time on there.
Yes.
So go on. So school was good.
I always
had a private school.
It wasn't a private school. No, it's a public school. But it's a Church of England school. So it was very well to do. You know, it's a fantastic school, but one of those things where you think, you know, either school failed me or I failed school. It just didn't work for me from an academic side. Met a lot of friends, had a lot of laughs, went on skiing holidays, things like that. So the memories of school are fantastic. But actually using school for the later life, for me, it just wasn't me. I didn't have the attention to do it. I never really applied myself for anything.
Any dyslexia or dyspraxia,
never,
anything like that?
Never dyslexia. Mild case of ADHD, but nothing to like write home about madness. But that's always been there. But I just couldn't concentrate on anything. I think when I look back, school just never really interested me. There was nothing to keep me engaged. And that's exactly why I ended up doing what I'm doing. It was keeping me entertained, keeping me engaged in something that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, good point. As a child, who was your sort of heroes, or who did you look up to?
So all the heroes for me were all the football players. So being a Bolton lad, I was a Bolton Wanderers fan, and the only heroes I really had were either the Bolton Wanderers players or movie stars, you know, film stars. Bruce Willis, Arnie Schwarzenegger wanted to be Rocky, you know, that sort of thing. So it's delusions of what it is. So I was never one where it was like, I want to be the next millionaire of the street or anything like that. It was more like that fun side of things, really.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I mean, it's changed, hasn't it, recently? Like we spoke off camera, like Gary Vaynerchuk's and all this. It has changed. Like these now are like these are like inspiring people to sort of follow and become new heroes, aren't they? So did you play at a good level of football?
No, not really. I just played it a laugh with the lads, you know what I mean? Played a few Saturday games and stuff like that. But it was just, basketball was a big thing for me, so in sort of like the 80s, early 90s, I was always walking around with my ears flapping out with a Michael Jordan cap on, thinking I was like the new Fresh Prince of Bolton. So, I was always having a laugh, having a charm, but I was always into fashion. I was always like, trying to keep up with the times, really. The main thing was having a laugh and keeping myself entertained.
Did you go to college?
I did, and actually dropped out.
Did you?
I went to Bolton College. Studying business admin, English, and something else that I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was that was a case of even on the day that I was going to college to sign up, didn't even have a clue what I was going to do. It was like, just rush into it.
I did hairdressing.
Did you?
Yeah,
you can tell.
I did 2 days. Me and my cousin thought it'd be a great way to pull girls, so we went to do that. I washed a few old biddies' hair, and lasted about 2 months, if that. Yeah, I hated it.
I was like that, and I think it was a case of you went to it. Like I said before, it was like an education of like you'll go through that system. You'll go to school, you go to college, get your first job, work your way up, and it was. It was just seen as the norm.
Have you got children? Have you got kids?
One, yeah. She's 20 this year, my daughter.
Is she? And how you bring? Because I had this conversation with my wife a couple of weeks ago. Like it's literally like, I feel like I'm encouraging my kids now. But I've got one son, Max. He hates school. He hates it. Like it's obviously been a tough year this year, 2020 with him. But he's not. But give him any sports, he takes hand to it. I'm not too concerned about his education, like because of the way the system is. I feel like we have turned a massive corner. I feel like it's okay if you don't if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, you've got to do it.
Yeah,
like my stepdad was a GP. You've got to do it, but it's not the end of the world if you get through school and you've got no quals. It's not the end of the world. So how are you bringing your daughter up?
So exactly the same with that. So me and her mum have always got along. We grew up together. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we've never piled a load of pressure onto our daughter. It's a case of she does well or she doesn't, and she's the complete opposite to me. She was very academic, and she's always done well at school. She's now studying law at Manchester Uni. She's flying. She's doing fantastically well. But we never sort of said you've got to do it this way or anything like that. But it was a case of if you're going to do it right. If you're going to go into something, then do it full-hearted. There was no pressure on her or anything like that. But we're just bringing up with if you do well, you do well. If you don't, then let's try something new. But it's worked amazingly for her, and I think that's the key to it. Do something that you're going to enjoy. We all want to be successful, no matter what we do. But do something you enjoy, and she does. That's what her thing is. So
I love that, mate.
Best way.
That. Yeah, 100%. So what was next for you? So you didn't see college through. What was next?
Didn't see college through. I had like 12 months. And it was fine. Like I was never a thicko. I just got to the point where I just didn't enjoy certain things. So I'd never really put my whole effort into it. So that was the problem. So I went and seen the tutors, and I just said to them, "No, I'm not enjoying it." And they said, "We can tell, but you're not applying yourself." So it was an old adage from like school days. Whenever my mum and dad used to go to parents' evening, they'd always come back and they say, "Right, your teachers have said exactly the same again. Thinks he'll get by on life on his charm alone." Well, when I look back, it's actually worked out all right because I have got by on charm alone, really. But that's exactly what it was, and it was the same thing. I didn't think that. It was just that I was too busy getting to know people, networking, talking, that sort of thing. And when I look back, I think school teaches you a lot of good things, your core skills. My personal feeling is it teaches you nothing else other than that, other than memory banks. That's just my thought pattern on it. Yeah. So I think it gives you your core skills. Once you've got that, then it's up to you to learn. And now, hindsight's a valuable thing, isn't it? But if you're thinking, Matt, that's the field I want to go into. So like I said, doctors, law, you've got to go down that route 100%. Someone like me and yourself, entrepreneurial, you've got to learn yourself and think, right, what's the skill from what you need? And that's where I just thought, right, that's the direction.
What age?
When I left college, I was still only 17, maybe. Yeah, 17 I was. I'd only done the first 12 months, and they let me actually finish it. They said, like, well, you can actually do it, so I'll finish it early if you want. So I did all all the coursework and whatnot. Still got the qualification, but I'd finished it early, so they were dead good with me. And I went and got a job, and so that's what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, you know. So it was like a case of I would probably have ended up being a builder, or you know, in construction, because a lot of my friends and family were in that, or I would have just got chucked in an office.
Was you good with your hands?
Not really. This is the stupid thing, but it's that where, you know, like you're sort of a victim of your environment, aren't you?
Yeah, it's true.
So I think a lot of
joinery.
a lot of people go into that, don't they? You know, when I was 14, 15, I used to work with my uncle on the Saturdays or at nights, helping him out doing fitted bedrooms. You know, so I was never shy of work. But I remember my uncle always saying to me, because I used to say, "I'll come and work with you in fit bedrooms and stuff, you know, as you're younger, because you can see you're getting 20 quid here, and you're buzzing, aren't you? 20 quid then, nothing now." And he used to say to me, my uncle, he said, "It's not for you, this." I don't know if it was a blonde thing and I didn't like getting dirty or whatever. But he just said, you know, "It's not for you. The money is behind the desk." And although it's not just about money and stuff, I get what he meant. He was thinking, you know, want a better life for you, and you do better than they did, I suppose. And I never forgot that sort of thing. You know, those little snippets that people say to you, I never forgot them, and it stuck in me, and I thought, is that where the success is, behind the desk, is it? So I went to see someone about carrying on like a business course or something at the time, because it was just, what else do you do? I'm not going to sit on my ass. And they sent me for a few interviews. I said, I'm good at IT, I was always good on computers and things. Interested in technology, so they sent me through a few interviews, and I got the first job. It was Yates's Wine Lodges at head office, because it used to be in Bolton.
Right.
And it was only like an office junior type role, but I was 17, I had no money. I was looking at B&Q at nights, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Again, even though, you know, it was one of them that you just couldn't sink your teeth into it. Went to Yates's Wine Lodges, and I was there for 7-8 years and just kept working my way up. And again, that was one that, you know, I got into a buying role.
Wow.
We all love spending money, don't we? And when it's somebody else's, it's even better. So when I was in that buying role, and that's where I actually got the bed of my skills. When I look back, that's where I built my foundation up. Being in a massive organisation, like £200 million turnover company, up and down the country, 400-500 outlets, and they really educated me, and that gave me the foundation, and that's where I believe I truly started becoming the real part of me, not the kid that was messing about.
Yeah.
That was where my business life started, and it was in that. And then once that, it was like 7-8 years, worked my way up into buying, and then when other people started headhunting me then and things like that, when I started getting headhunted, like Heinz offering me jobs.
Nice.
You started getting a name for yourself, and then you started getting that buzz. It's like scoring a goal at football. You've got a bit of success, something's gone well, you've done that right deal, you know what I mean, and then you want the next one, don't you? And that's where that bug, that addiction for me came to getting the success.
So was you waking up thinking, like, I'm interested in the mindset side of things. So, did you have your little party time? Like, did you have it? So you did all that, did you?
Yeah.
So you did all. So I'm trying to work it out. And then was you getting up, like, thinking, right, I want to be a success now?
Yeah, I think. So from being, even from like 16 to like 19, that was like major party time for me, because we were just out all the time, passing your driving test, bang on 17th birthday, because that's all you wanted to do. You wanted a car as a lad. And it was just party life out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, sometimes on Monday, then waking up rough and going to work. But you were young and you could get on with it, couldn't you? And at 19, my girlfriend, daughter's mum, fell pregnant. And then it was like, oh, Christ, hang on, what's happening here? You know, and it's wake-up call. And I've always said that was a turning point for me, from being Jack the lad, Danny, just going partying and doing whatever, to, right, no, I've got to focus. It's not just about me, it's about girlfriend and my daughter, and we've got to start doing something now to be a success and show something, this little baby, that you've got to be a success. And that was always a turning point for me. Was it? Always, yeah. At 19 years old, and then 20 when she actually came, that was a turning point for me. So rather than bullshitting through life is the truth, now it's like, right, this is the pinnacle. So I always say she was like my guardian angel, because you could have just gone another route.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and you've done it young as well, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? You sort of, because kids, no matter what, they ground you. Do you know what I mean? You've got to. They set that level, and that's that. Like you say, where I've got a 7-year-old, and that was the turning point for me as well. Yeah. It was like, right, you've got you've got little mouths to feed now. You've got to make sure you're on it.
Yeah.
So go on. So you built yourself up for Yates's. What was next then?
So when Yates's got bought out by another company called Luminaire, and there was a few of us that they wanted us to go down to like Luton, offering us roles. There's only a handful of us that they actually wanted. And the only reason I didn't go was because I had my little daughter. She was like 6 at the time or something. You can't up sticks and go to Luton.
Yeah.
Not that I love Bolton that much, I do, but I'm not leaving there.
We've had a few Bolton people on here. We've got a bit of a Bolton trend.
Yeah. We love it. That's it. Once you're from it, you love it. Once you're in, you can't leave. Yeah. But yeah, when that happened, then it was a case of, right, I'll have a look for something else what's going out there. But I thought, do you know what? I don't want to do that buying role anymore. I don't want to be a buyer or a purchasing manager or anything anymore. I want something different. So I had 12 months of just pissing about, is the truth of the matter. Finding my feet, seeing what I actually wanted. Went doing bits for my mates, dad's construction company and things like that. I had a redundancy package anyway, so I was like messing about again really.
Yeah.
But I had 12 months of it, and it was like a 12-month sabbatical, if you like, of just, right, I've worked hard for however many years, I've done what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then that 12 months actually gave me that, the role for you was the one that you had. You were in business, you were working your way up, you were doing well, you were making a success, you were making a decent name for yourself in an industry. And that 12 months, I thought, yeah, that was 100% me, not this guy who's trying to do what he did, and it was brilliant. Because I think a lot of people go through a system, and they hate the jobs or think they hate it, and because they think the grass is always green on the other side.
Point.
And the massive thing is, it's not usually when you have a look at it. But I got the luxury of seeing that and realising it quite early on and thinking, crap, no, actually, I really enjoyed what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So then it was like, right, got to sort my CV out, get my name back out there. I've had 12 months of monkeying around. Put my CV out there, and that's when the likes of the Heinz and people like that came on board, and they were offering me roles. There were about 3 people offering me roles, so it was. I went for interviews, crazy interviews, dead funny things, and then I ended up going to a family business that was well thought of in packaging, and that's where I got into packaging. And they took me on as a purchasing assistant, and within 4 years of being there, I was on the board of directors. And that's where my stock rose from there to I became sort of a man, if you like, or I was a businessman then. I was different. And
so what attracted you to packaging?
It wasn't the packaging that I bought. And you might be the same. I buy into people.
Yeah.
So as much as now packaging's everything to me because I've got a business in packaging.
Yeah.
But I think back then it was the people that I bought into, the company, and I had this company that I went working for, and I had Heinz. And when Heinz, I remember my dad, and I rung my dad, Heinz actually offered more money for me and a better package. And I'm mumming and ahhing, who am I choosing? And my dad's like, well, I'm a mad ketchup fan, So all my mates were just like, oh, you've got to go there. It's tailor-made for you. You love ketchup on everything. And I mean, you're choosing a job over ketchup. But I just had this feeling about this other business and the way they were. It was a family business. And I thought, oh, and my dad, them things where someone says a certain thing and it sticks in your mind. And I remember being on the phone to my dad, and my dad said, just remember, if you pick Heinz, you'll be payroll slip number 1, 2, 3, 4. He said, at this other, you'll be Danny Lee. And when he said it, and I thought, that's what I wanted. I wanted to make a name for myself. Yeah. So I took the plunge. It wasn't as much money, but I took that, and lo and behold, I whipped my socks off. Yeah. Showed them exactly what I could do. I started getting known throughout the industry very well. Started my skill set, and my skills set just rose. And it was me that, because I got the freedom role, if you like. I could do what I want. It was quite an old industry as well. So me coming in with a bit of a fresh blood.
You've got an energy vibe, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah. That energy it sort of kick-started other people off as well. And it just came, and I was like the youngest one on the board, because they were most of the board were 50 plus. I was like 26 at the time, 27. And it was like, right, you're blooding me. They were blooding me for the managing director role, really.
Wow.
Over years. And I knew that then. I knew the path that I was on. Yeah. But again, where you say you're in them paths where you go through it. Yeah. I would never sort of gone, I'm going to start my own business.
Would you not?
I wouldn't have done it. I never would have.
For what reason?
It just weren't me. I'd never got educated like that.
Did you not?
From a young age, when you blood things in, I never got educated of one day I want my own business. It was never a massive thing to me that. I was, I know people who, we all know entrepreneurs, and everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. I don't think I ever wanted to necessarily, I didn't wake up one morning and think, I want to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted to be successful in whatever I did. And I think opening my own business, I just struck at the right time.
Did you?
It was just one moment after like, ooh, something happened, and it was like, right, yeah, now's the right time. But I would never. I know people who are just as successful as business owners, but they work for somebody else, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It's what it is for you, but I just decided there and then, and I took the plunge really.
So do you find yourself, the new Danny now, you would be you wouldn't be able to work for someone else? You know, like now knowing you've tasted like unemployable.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Someone said that to me once. They said, just be careful about opening your own business, because what you do is you actually make yourself unemployable, and that is the truth now. You know that I could consult for somebody. There is no way that I could go and work 9 to 5 for somebody or be under somebody. It's not in you anymore.
No,
you know,
get a taste of the other side.
You get a taste of the other side, and you know, if anything, entrepreneurship, and it taught you actually do more hours than the people that are doing the night.
And you probably get paid. Yeah, exactly. You probably don't get paid as much.
Sometimes,
you come last. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. That's it. So anyone that's thinking about setting their own business, or what sort of lessons have you learned along the way? What little golden nuggets could you give someone to say like, this is what you need, because it's tough, like as you know what I mean, it's constant. Give us a couple of little golden nuggets that you've learned along your way about setting up your own business.
So setting up is probably the most important bit. I think what people actually do is they over egg it, so they overthink it as well. So they sort of say, I've got to have the perfect solution for day one of opening. And for me, and I was a little bit guilty of that, but I was pushed into, I had to act really quick, which gave me a good lesson. But I think if you try and strive for perfection, it's good to think it, but it never actually happens. If everything's right, so I've got that box tick, that box tick, that box, don't happen. If you think, I've got an idea, my best thing is just go for it. Get it set up, get it sorted. Then, once you set up, then start building your team. So build your team as in like getting the right accountant, you know, the right partners, the right people around you. And that don't mean go and take on a load of people. I'm on about the right people as in customers, suppliers, you know, people that are going to sort of do your shipping, anything like that. Think of people as an extension of you. You don't have to just go and employ a load of people. You know, don't spend a load of money at first as well, and keep yourself as lean and agile as you can, because I did that, and now, especially in the COVID era, it paid dividends then, because I wasn't sort of inflated. I've not spent a fortune, and I didn't pay myself a fortune either. I just said, right, I'll get the rewards when the company deems I can have it. So, you know, actually earn what you're going to get later. Earn it first and then spend it later.
Yeah, I love it. So many golden nuggets that I want to touch on there. So for example, the iPhone, like if they were to wait until that was absolutely perfect to get it out there, it would never have gone out. That's why it's constantly, you're on an iPhone update, you're on an update, because they keep tweaking things.
Of course they do.
So that's it. And another good thing I learned about Apple the other day, they're $1 trillion company, one of the most successful businesses in the world, got hundreds of thousands of staff for them, but they only have about 10 products. They're not trying to do everything. They've got 10 products that they're absolute masters of. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing I wanted to touch on there. What was the other thing you touched on then? It'll come back to me. Brilliant, that. Absolutely brilliant. Also, the sort of learning as you go. Do you have any mentors? Do you have anyone you've ever looked at? Have you had a business coach?
I've never had a business coach, even though I'm going to be one at some point. That's the one thing that I always say that I probably missed out on. I had quite a few mentors. I had two when I went to the family business, if you like. There was two, I used to call them the SS. They were called Stephen and Sue. So not like the Hitler SS, it was like the SS I used to call them, because they were very, you know, they grilled me in my interview and stuff like that. They gave me a real going over, but I know what the toughness that they put behind me actually paid dividends again later on. You know, they really looked after me, because like I said, there was an age gap as well. And they I kept getting told from an early age, you're a rough diamond, you know, we can see you just need polishing up. You've got what it takes. You just need someone to guide you. And I think that was massive for me. So the SS, Stephen and Sue, really guided me a lot. And then from getting into that industry, there was other people that were very influential in the industry that literally could see that I had potential. And I know now that they could see I had potential. I didn't think it at the time. And they sort of like held my hand a little bit to guide me and said, well, what about this? Or what about that? Then they were ringing me up and saying, what do you think about what would you advise on this? And I was only late 20s, if you like. I'm thinking, Christ, that's good if they're thinking there.
Yeah.
But they were educating me as well to think, you know, come on. I mean, I got tested. The lady, Sue, that I'm talking about, she was ready for retirement, and they took me on to sort of take her role, and she was very high up in the company. She was like the purchasing director, if you like. And they brought me on to see if I could take over from her, and it was 3 years. I didn't know this at the time.
Right.
They had 3 years for me to blood in, and then did it, like, let her leave quietly, if you like, so that it would have been a longer gap.
Yeah.
She actually went after 18 months on full pay because I was ready to take it over. Now, that I didn't know at the time, but that was a massive part and a big confidence boost for me.
Yeah.
Because I thought, hang on, well, I've done something right, and I'm no longer this lad who's partying and messing about. I was the businessman that I wanted to be, and I could say to my daughter, but Dad's done all right.
Yeah.
You know, so she can have that proud moment then as well.
Yeah.
So.
Love that, mate. Absolutely love that. Do you have any little hacks that you follow on a daily basis? Do you have any things like we have non-negotiables that I have in my business, I have what I teach my tribe, but have you got any, like Danny, non-negotiables that you've got to wake up and you do X, Y, Z?
Yeah, for me, again, where I mentioned about attention, like losing attention, keeping my focus, that's a big thing for me. So every single day, I put it on like little videos that I do on Instagram and stuff, but I would have 3 to 5 points that I've got to complete daily, and I have my team do exactly the same. Yeah. So the night before, we'll have 3 to 5 to-dos, just 3 to 5 points that you religiously do that will deem that day a success. Every single day, whether we were on lockdown or what have you, the team would set up at 8:30 in the morning, and we'd all just discuss the day. Yeah. It's little things like minimum standards of performance, but I think in business, a lot of people, it can get lonely at times, me as well as the other guys. I think being lonely, and I think if you don't get that chance to talk about it, so setting up of a day, like taking the class register and that, you know, it's just a little thing. Everyone gets a bit of a say, so just for half an hour every single day we go, right, what's everyone got on today? So one person might say he's got this project, another might say they've got that project, but because they've communicated, they go, oh, actually, I could help you with this and I could do that. So they start spitting ideas to each other, and it's like, whoa, hang on a minute, if you hadn't have had that opportunity to speak, they would have never known about what the other one was doing. It's
creative, isn't it?
And it's just little and it's about teamwork, that.
How did you deal with that with COVID? We'll touch on COVID today, but how did you get over that solution or that amazing little hack that you do through COVID? So all we did was just set up Zoom. Did you? Literally, so we used to talk on Zoom 3 times a day. Did you? So we used to do 8:30 in the morning, log on, hey guys, right, we all get a say, get cracking on, then we touch on just before lunch, how things going, anyone need any help, is everyone alright? And then we'd close off the day, even though we'd do it about 4 o'clock, 4:30, even though we were working till 5 if you like, right, how's the day gone? So everybody, even though you were at home, it was hard, you still felt like you were speaking to your mates and your colleagues. Yeah. You know, so you'd be picking up the phone in between that. Yeah. And it was a case of, right, let's just speak 3 times a day. So morning, noon, and evening. Accountability, innit? And that's it. Yeah. Are you going to keep some of that in? Yeah. Zoo? Are you... there's so much I want to. Let's come back to that one. But are you gonna keep some of them steps in what you're doing now moving forward? Still with the Zoom chats. We still do it now, because really it didn't change our structure of what we were already doing. Yeah. It was just that rather than doing it face to face, we had to do it using technology. So we still do it now. So you know, rather than, it's hard for me when I'm in the office. If I always say I'm the most destructive to those guys, because I'm like, what are you doing with that? Where was that up to? Yeah. What's it? So I try and just catch up with them 2 or 3 times a day, and then everyone knows that they've got a little bit of a voice. Everyone knows that they're cracking on, doing well. If they're not doing so well, let's change it up and crack on with it. Mix it up, yeah, I love that. So take me back to when you first went settled by yourself. Talk me through that. Well, right, so our magical office was my spare bedroom. Yeah. So it went from one day being nothing, didn't even have a name. Did you didn't even have a name, we had to act quite sharpish. And it was a case of, right, am I doing this? You know, my mum and dad were going mad because it's like, you're getting offered this salary at that place, again, headhunting, there was loads of different businesses trying to get hold of me and things. And I honestly, when I look back now, it's scary what I actually did, because I was getting offered 6-figure salaries, you know, big equity in businesses, massive pensions, the car still and all this. And I was like, do you know what, in me, it's not what I want. I just don't want to do it. I don't feel right. Yeah. And my mum and dad, you know, it would have took us 10 years to earn that sort of money and this. And I'm like, I know I get it, but I just don't want to do it.
And I thought, I'm setting up on my own. I'm setting up shop. And this is the truth. I was going to just do it just me, in my bedroom, laptop, see where it goes. If it works, it works. If it didn't, I'd have to go and get another job somewhere, sail between the legs. I had a couple of lads who'd worked for me in the old business who said, if you're setting up, can we come and work with you? And I said to them, you can. I'm not got a clue how I'm going to pay you. And that is the truth. I don't know how I'm going to pay you, but I'll sort something out and we'll do it. So anyway, we decided, I thought, right, is there a real business plan? I knew in my head, but I'd not written it down on paper. So I spent this like sort of 48 hours writing everything down on paper. This is who partners we're going to need. These are customers we're going to have to get. Where the hell's my premises? I had no money. So where's my premises going to be? Well, I had a spare bedroom. A third bedroom was a spare one. It was only small. I thought, let's go and get some crappy old desks. So I set up some crappy little desks and I went from one bedroom into the other every day for 12 months, and within our first 12 months we did over £1 million turnover, and there were three of us sat on each other's laps as such, and it was mad. When I look back now, it's madness. You know, I used to have my flip-flops on walking from one room to another, but we went and we were honest with our customers then. You know, it was a case of, you've got to take a chance on me. Can you take a chance on me? Are you willing? And not everyone said yeah. Some said, I've got to think of my business, Danny. You know, that's more important than yours, unfortunately. And I said, no, I understand that. But there was about 5 or 6 customers, big uns, who said, you know what, we believe in you, Danny. We've dealt with you for a long time. We know who the person is. We'll take a bit of a punt. I asked for favours, can you pay a bit earlier? This is the truth, you know, I've nothing to hide, I'm quite proud. Can they pay a bit earlier than normal and things? And them people, those 5 customers are still trading with us today, 4 years later. And I made them a promise, and I believed every word of it, that you know, I would look after them or support them no matter what, and I'll never ever forget the support they gave me.
So you were honest. You trusted yourself. And you asked for help, basically.
That's it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't either. No. I don't either. I think that's you've got these ideas. And you built this up, and you've been true to your word. But no, brilliant. So what was next? How did you make that jump then from the bedroom, from the spare room to actually having your own premises?
So it was a kit after 6 months, and we knew, like, after 3 months we were breaking even as a business, which is pretty much unheard of. You know, it doesn't usually happen like that. And a lot of people can say, oh, it was luck. Well, you couldn't come and done that for 3 months if you want to have a look at whether it was luck or not. It was lack of sleep. It was, you know, really blood, sweat and tears. It was fantastic, really, what we were doing. Not just me, my team, you know, who was still there. All of us together just built together. It was fantastic. But after about 6 months of us all in this sweatbox, because it started getting hot then, 3 of us in a little bedroom, you know, it was like, right, what we're doing next? How are we transitioning now to the next step? And it was like, we're gonna need some premises. So I just literally went out one day, started driving around and seeing what's what. Went on the internet, visited a few office spaces and warehouse spaces and things like that. And then we found one. It was the right price. It was what it was. We got straight in there within about, I think it was, we'd been 12 months in the spare bedroom, and then we went into the first office space, and we were all buzzing. It was like we had loads of space that we could fill with loads of crap.
Magic days, aren't they? Yeah, I love that.
There was nothing. It's like, what do we put in that space now, you know? But we got that, so we transitioned to that. We lasted 12 months in that one and outgrew it. So we needed to go into the next one, and now we're looking for the next period, which is a bigger warehousing space. We rent 33,000 square feet of warehousing space that we share in Preston, so that's still there, but we need our own now. So the next bit is the central hub for the pirate ship, if you like. So
I love that. That is amazing, brilliant. So that's where the business is going to move forward to. That's the next. That's your vision. How many team have you got now?
So there's 7 of us in the team now. So that includes my mum and my daughter as well. So nice. You know, keeping the family in, because you know, as much as, you know, and the lads, the team that we've got, you know, it's like one big family as well. But my daughter and my mum are in there because everyone loves that as well. You know, they get along with everyone as well. But
you bring the dog in?
No, and again, and everyone loves him more than me. He's the proper mascot.
Every good business needs a dog.
Oh, he's nuts, that kid. He's proper, man. But he comes in and everyone has a crack with that. But I always say to my daughter, I don't want my daughter to take over the business. You know, I want her to have her own life, but I also, it is part of hers. I want her to know about it, and I want her to appreciate the people that are in that. When we start growing, and we are growing year on year, as we grow there'll be more people. I want her to appreciate those people, and she does. She's a dead good kid. Everyone loves her, and growing comes with different challenges, doesn't it? But I wanted to always remember where we came from and be mindful of that. So I think that I never had that, and I think just having that mindset and appreciating a pound, and appreciating where we've come from, and she knows that, it'll pay dividends for her later on as well.
You seem to have got it all into place.
Trying, mate.
Yeah, you seem to have got it all
Trying, mate, yeah.
I always like to ask this question with my guests. So when Boris came onto the nation to sort of talk about lockdowns and stuff like that, what's going on in Danny's head? What are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? Lockdowns and how you're going to like thinking about your business. So go on, take me back to that time.
What was anyone thinking? You know, I think at first when it first happened, I thought, nah, that it's not going to be anything like what we know it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder what it's like. But then it was as if they just turned the taps off. So like overnight closing pretty much 80% of our customers. You know, because it was predominantly food and drink that we were doing, which ended up on supermarket shelves. So for a month, I think it was the April month, was our worst ever month.
Yeah.
You know, since we'd set up, and I was like, straight away, I was like, and I was keeping a brave face, smiling to everyone. No, we'll be fine, everything. And I thought, Christ, what we're going to do here? And straight away, and this is what it did help us, is the fact that we were lean. You know, we had an agile mind. From the way you can ask any member of my team, I love change. I do love change.
Change is good, yeah.
What I hate is change for change's sake.
Yeah.
So I love change. I love mixing it up. You know, familiarity breeds contempt to me. So I think if you're doing the same thing 9 to 5, day in, day out, I just can't think of anything worse. So if you mix it up now and again for guys, people like get that buy-in and they get excited again themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's that motivation. And I think we had the sort of the fear factor at first, and I sat down with the team and think, right, what do we all think? You know, what are we going to do? Are we going to have to furlough everyone? Are we going to have to close down? Are we going to have to shut?
Yeah.
And after sitting down actually reviewing everything, it was like, right, hang on, we've got a base of customers anyway that are still going to need X, Y, Z. You know, let's try and attack a different avenue with it. So we started the PPE thing because it was just an add-on to what we did anyway. We actually sold PPE anyway.
Did you?
Because it was food and drink massively, which you always need PPE, but it was in small numbers.
Yeah.
So for about 3 to 6 months, all we really did was sell PPE or supply PPE.
Right.
Along with the other bits and pieces that were coming along.
Yeah.
But because like some of our competitors had closed down or, you know, like shut up shop or not as many people working because of furlough and stuff, then we ended up getting people contacting us. So it actually, we never grew and attacked anything, but it just tailed off. It just like leveled out for us.
Yeah.
So being agile and being able to just turn on that axis just meant that we could still supply and still have a business to run.
Yeah.
And when I look back, it wasn't any magic wand I had. It was just, right, hang on, this is a challenge. How the hell do we fix it? And that's all we did. We just made a decision. The decision was straight away with me.
Yeah.
It could have gone horribly wrong because there was a lot of money invested, if you like. I was dipping into pots that I wasn't too sure whether I really had if it carried on for long. And we just went for it. And then, lo and behold, it got us over the major hurdle, and then people reopened again and we were ready again. Yeah. And then we closed down again, but we were already sorted by that time. Yeah. And then now and then it's actually taught us, you know, we've actually got a very, very good business that can cope with change. It can cope with issues, if you like.
The famous pivot word.
Pivot. I love pivot.
I love pivot. Like, can we just pause there? Well, yeah, brilliant. 2 minutes, yeah. Have a little breathe. I'm just going to run to the toilet. Amazing, Danny. Absolutely brilliant. Give me 2 seconds and we'll carry on from pivot.
Anytime, brother. Yeah, magic, yeah. You just keep running, you just run away with yourself sometimes, though, don't you? It's mad.
It's good though, I think.
Is it okay?
No, yeah, sounds good, yeah, seriously, but it's interesting hearing, I always find it really interesting hearing different people's stories, because obviously I think it's nice the way Nick goes from like childhood to this and that, and like you said, because you go, oh, you start thinking about childhood, and then you, like, oh, this happened,
Yeah,
and then
it's mad. Yeah.
It all comes out.
You don't think about things like that anymore, do you? You're like, what? But like, and I mean that, like, there's so many. I bet you get so many people that were at school and they sold ketchups or toffees and I hear it all the time, and I always think to myself, but I never did that. Yeah. I wasn't that person that was gonna be an entrepreneur. I just, my life changed and I ended up being one.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get so many that say it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I was always destined for this, and I wasn't destined for that, but.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. To be fair, I think I'm the exact same. Like, until I was probably about like 18, didn't realise I wanted to do sort of filming and that sort of stuff. Like, up until that, I was going to do like computer science or something. And then
I would have probably done that.
Yeah.
Because I just said I just want to work with computers. They stuck me in an office on a computer, and that was it.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh well, you know, I'll get paid well, whatever. And then as soon as I did something I liked, I was like, oh my god, I was like, I never don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As soon as you find it,
I agree.
You know, don't you?
You chase the money, I think, when you're younger. And I think kids are even more guilty of it now. They're like, sort of like, oh, well, there's no point doing that because it's easy for them to be a drug dealer or something.
Yeah.
The quick buck they all want, and you think, well, it doesn't. If it's too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. You know, that's how I see it.
You end up having to learn by being scorned a lot of the times, don't you? It's like sometimes people get into stuff like that and they're like, oh shit, this isn't what I wanted, this isn't what I thought it was.
That's why I say about that 12-month period when I was out of work, if you like, that was the most valuable 12 months I've ever had. You know what I mean? That's what you think about it.
You really find yourself and go, right, what do I want?
Yeah, what do I want now? Yeah, not a lot of people get that luxury.
No, definitely not.
Right, cool.
Back to it.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, whenever you are.
Awesome. So you've recently had a new branding, haven't you?
Yeah.
What was the old business called?
So the old business was called the Hub Packaging Solutions Limited.
Okay, I used to gym called the Hub.
There's all sorts called the Hub.
yeah. So what was the change then? What was the idea behind that?
So based from, you know, when I said that I first set up and I didn't even have a name.
Yeah.
So the name was, we were all sat down and it's like, oh shit, what we're gonna call this place? You know, it was like, is it Danny Lee's, DL's, is it whatever, is it?
Yeah.
There was all sorts of weird and wonderful names. But I'd always run teams before. I'd certain teams in companies that I'd run.
Yeah.
And I used to always say to my teams, right, we've got to think of ourselves as the hub of this business.
Right.
So it naturally just came, right, let's be the hub.
Yeah.
And the hub, and it's the hub what? Well, the Hub Packaging Solutions, right? Okay.
That's
So
mad,
and that's what it was. And there was nothing wrong with the name. It was all right. It did.
Did you have a logo?
We had a logo. Yeah, we had
Did
a
you do it yourself?
we had a crap one. Yeah.
Did
It's
you?
like, like a backwards Nike tick with a load of dots, and it was. At the time when we launched, it was like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You know, when you look back now, you're thinking, heaven almighty, no, it wasn't. And you kept seeing sort of IT hub, the Sky hub. You know, everybody had a hub. There was even we wasn't even the only hub packaging. There was another one in Ireland.
Yeah.
So people got us confused and things. And I knew it from I think we were 6 months in. I said to lads, we need to change the name.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, because they could say, oh no, we don't want to change the name. And it was like so just after year 3, and I thought, nah, it's 100%, it's got to do it. And if I don't do it now, we're never doing it. It's going to be too far gone if we change it, because I was thinking we'd change it. And it was a case of, it's just not fitting with me. It weren't looking great. I weren't feeling our website. The branding on anything was all right.
Yeah.
I weren't excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided we were going to do summer, and one of my mates actually said, oh, have you seen that guy Tim Marner? He's done something with someone we know. So I was like, oh, right, go on. He's in Bolton as well. Weren't far from us.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, give him a call.
Yeah.
What happens, what doesn't. So I rang him up, booked a meeting. Right, come and see us. Yeah, we were interested in having a chat, definitely. So I went down and had a chat with him. We hit it off straight away. Yeah. You know, I have tattoos all over me. We had a laugh, and my philosophy was, you know, it's just a case of we work hard, we play hard. And I'd always said, I work like a captain, I play like a pirate. I'd always said that, even had it on my Instagram.
Right.
I work like a captain, play like a pirate.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I came up with a name, I didn't. That's all Tim and his guys. So we had that, and Tim said he's excited. Let's have a go. And it was him. He said he sits a lot of people down. But with us, he said, I think you need to change the name. I'd not actually said I want to change the name. I just said I want rebranding. I want things to look, the hub to look better. Yeah. And he said, would you consider a name change? Yeah. I said, anything goes. That was it. Yeah, I love a challenge anyway. Yeah, I thought, well, if he comes up with something crap, I can always say no. It's my business at the end of the day. If I don't like it, I don't do it. Yeah. So I thought, well, nothing to lose. I said, anything goes. You come up with something, it's up to you. Let's see what's what. So like you go through the process, don't you? We're having a chat and see what's what. Yeah. And if I'm honest, and I don't get scared, I'm quite confident in what we're doing. I don't get, but I was getting a bit nervous. I'm thinking, heaven forbid, what's he going to come up with? And there was like, even like my partner, like her mates and my friends, everyone was like, what's it going to be? And I'm like, I honestly do not know. I don't know. So anyway, he gets invited, you go down, don't you? And he presented it to me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And straight away, like we saw the logo,
Yeah,
and straight away it was like, and my daughter was, she said, that's you, that dad. And that was it. He'd sold us straight away, you know. Just on the logo alone, they talked us through it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, right, got a brand now. Whereas I didn't feel like I had a brand. It was like just my company, a Me Too company that I would struggle to grow because I wasn't really behind it. Whereas with this now, I feel like I'm massively behind it. And some of my best friends, as soon as I launched it, they were like, Jesus, you were motivated before, but this is another level. You know, it's like I've been on energy drinks. So and I can't thank them guys enough. I mean, I think my branding is, you know, I'm going to say this, but I think mine is superb. I think it's much better than a lot of others. And I think a lot of people thought I had a clothing range once it got.
Yeah,
but it's not.
well, that's
and
it.
from
You're
a
proud
packaging
to wear
company,
it.
it's gone, I am, and we wear it on our sleeve, on our cuffs, everywhere. And that was it. That was the story. We didn't really need to change. There was nothing wrong with it.
Who does your tops?
Me. We design them all and then we just buy those and then get them just embroidered local.
Right, no, they're lovely.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I said that as soon as you came
You want one, don't you?
I'm wording you up here.
You're working me up £10 to Sherry when you get these.
Yeah, no,
That's
you know what?
mean.
It is like a clothing brand, isn't it? It is something you could see and think, what's that? And then I love it. Right. Brilliant. So do you feel like it's give you that identity now? Do you feel like it's give you that sort of like, let's take this ship to the next level?
Yeah, pirate ship. Yeah, let's take the ship. I think it was the missing piece. It was that bit where even though you're always going to be behind your own business, it was that missing link where it was like, like where I said, the hub, there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that it wasn't giving me that next level. Whereas this, it's now giving me that next step so we can build something else and, you know, love it or hate the name, you know, or the sign. Not everyone's going to like everything, and we knew that. But I love a challenge. We wear it on our sleeve, you know, love it or hate it. It is what it is, but you notice it and you won't forget it. And I think that's the key to it. You know, is that you're not going to forget it, and it gives us that new age. It separates us away from other people.
Definitely.
Because I always used to, and I said it to Tim, when I set the business up, I used to go to work in a suit, tie, shine my shoes, bit of a briefcase. That's not what I wanted. I had a blank piece of paper with my own business, and I thought, right, how do it? Always got to look smart. Always got to have our manners and remember our P's and Q's. They're my things in life, no matter what. And we'll look smart. If we go to a meeting, we have collared tops. You know, chinos, we always look nice, we always look presentable, but we don't have to look like a stiff. We're not bank managers. We're not tax accountants. You know, that's what they're. And for me,
it's different though. It's
different.
Like you say, if you were to rack up with your suit on and stuff, it'd be just another suited, booted packaging guy. But you're coming in with a different, like a rebel.
Well, we've got to like help people with their brand. You know, packaging tells a story, and for me it's like, if we look boring, what the hell are we going to help them sell? We've got to help people push their brand on, whether it's plain packaging or branded packaging, and that's what I think it is.
100%. And it's interesting actually, because I can see the branding like going to the next level. Like, you always know when you've received something nice. There's a company that we buy stuff from, and it always comes. My wife buys stuff from like your Joe Malone's and all these, and it comes like to the point that when you open it up, it smells nice.
Experience,
it's an experience, isn't it? And now we're living in this Amazon world of everything's in a box and gets sent, because everything's now. That it makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. Have you got any like crazy ideas about branding and stuff like that? About packaging? Have you got any ideas that you want to share?
We do very low cost items. So for food and drink, it's not a massive, even though they might talk food and drink, it's not a massive outlay for people. You go into the McDonald's, Costa's, Greg's, whoever. It's not a high cost. So you have to go on budget with that. But we have some sort of luxury. We have a luxury department as well. So we do a lot of that, and that's where you can really get your juices flowing on that one. You can do some mad, weird, and wonderful things. But I think going forward for us on a package level, it's about, you know, being sustainable and doing the right thing. That's a massive story in itself. So it's like anything, you know, you've got to package things right, and I think if you can tell the story on the packaging, it just makes a difference. So no matter what, it could be exactly the same box, but the way you brand that up or open up and the customer gets that experience, then it's massive because that's the first thing they see.
Yeah.
Never mind whether you're buying trainers, a car, a t-shirt, whatever it is, or a watch.
Yeah.
You know, before you actually see your product, it's then telling a story, and I think that's the massive thing for us, is letting us tell your story, and people buying in. And sometimes if it's a good piece of package as well, they'll keep it in the wardrobe and they'll use it for other sort of forever using it, and that's the key.
These shoes, they come in awesome packaging, and I've always got them shoved.
But you remember it, don't you? You do remember it.
You do, and you know when that box comes, you know exactly what it is because you know the standard. Have you seen any other businesses that do it really well?
Do the packaging really well.
You like obviously. When you get Apple, it's absolutely, they've nailed it, and they're like everything.
Apple's the pinnacle for us. I mean, everything I've got's Apple. You know, even the guys, we've bought into that brand.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to say that they're not particularly the best product. There is a better phone out there. There's a better watch. There's a better laptop. But still, you go to it, and it's because it tells that story. And Steve Jobs was the one who actually said packaging is a storyteller. He actually said that as a quote,
Wow.
And you think to yourself, well, it's true because he had like the right marketing agency, didn't he? And he had all these like a good team of people around him. He wasn't particularly the best person at building a computer. But he actually told the story.
He got sacked, didn't he? From
he got sacked, bless his heart, and then went back. So he's not a bad lad, is he? No. He didn't do so bad for himself, but he wasn't particularly the best. He's just a good storyteller, and he took advantage of everything and the vision. And I think that's what I do a little bit. I'm not saying I'm Steve Jobs, but what I do, I try and tell the story and try and get the buy-in from other people.
It's more emotional.
Yeah. You don't have to have the best thing in the world. You don't have to have the best products in the world. It has to be good quality, obviously. But it just means that you can get that buy-in, you get that customer experience. I think we all want that. We all want that experience of the best trainer, and when you're opening it up and things like that. So
definitely, I love that, mate. So what's next for you as a personal? What's next for you? As we've spoke a lot about the business side of things. What's next for Danny?
Okay, so I think from a business point of view, I don't know if you watched the Seaspiracy thing on Netflix yet.
Which one's that?
So you've got Cowspiracy and Seaspiracy about the fish. Have you seen that yet?
No, I've watched Cowspiracy.
Yeah, well, it's that, but from a sea or fish point of view, if you like.
Okay. So
from pirate packaging point of view, we're going to start looking at things like where we can sort of make a contribution to they were called the Sea Shepherd. But with us being pirates and pirate ships, and we do a lot of shipping all over the world, the supply chain and logistics is massive to us. So to try and help the fish or what have you, we're looking at now how we can fund that a little bit, so that takes us to the next level, and that's like a story for us where we're buying and giving a little bit back. So from pirate packaging side, it's about that. Yeah. Me on a personal level myself is I'm going to be launching my own business coaching the 1st of July. That's just about when people have been reaching out, they've seen I've been a success. I'm not scared to admit it, and I'm not sugarcoating anything. I've done it well, but I've done it where I was, like I said from the start, I wasn't necessarily blooded into that. It wasn't a given that I was ever going to do this. I did it through blood, sweat and tears. I was a rough diamond, and I polished it up and with the help of other people. But I don't think I ever had anyone to help me from a younger age, so that's my goal, if you like, for now until when I keep going on, is to try and help the youngsters that were in my position, that weren't going to get the chances I got, to try and see if I can help them and push them on. So through the business coaching and being a mentor to people, that's what I want to do as well as. So I've got pirate packaging, it'll always be there and it'll grow, but the business coaching is going to be another side because I've got something to give back.
I love that.
And that's what I want.
How many years have you been in business?
So I've been in business now just over 15 years.
So you've got 15 years of experience that you've learned that you can help other people.
That's the key to it.
And that's the way, that's the way for success, isn't it? I mean, I have a mentor. I've only recently started working with, but I've had a lot of distance mentors. I've been following a lot of people for a long time. And that's the key to success, is instead of trying to figure it out yourself and make all the mistakes, these people that have done it, even if they're a little bit further on that you need to be. Do you know what I mean? You can learn a lot from them. And I think, like you said before, it's okay to ask for help. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay just to check in with people.
Of course it is. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of people that say they've got experience and they are business coaches, and the way I found it different, I think there's a lot of people that say they are, and they're this and they're that, and they can help you make £1 million overnight and things like that. But you've got to get realistic, you know. Actually look and do your research on those people, and have they done anything similar to what you're going to want to be doing? You know, I can actually say I have. You know, I've done it through blood, sweat and tears. Like I say, I've done it from the bottom up. There's a lot of these people that haven't, and it's smoke and mirrors in my opinion. Not just to cause a rift with anyone, but that is the truth. You know, and I think you've got to do your due diligence on people and say, right, well, this is what I want. Who's my right partner to help me with? I know that I can help people from that and educate them going forward. There's a lot of other people that it's just marketing, and that is the difference. So I want to help people in the real life situations. That's it.
Yeah, 100%, because there is. You see all these Instagram, make you rich with the Lamborghinis and all that in 24 hours. It's not, is it? It's slow and steady. Do you know what I mean? And it's having these little hacks that you can teach people along the way. Do you know what I mean? And like you say, look for someone who's been there, done it, blood, sweat and tears, and the success that you need. So
I don't believe everyone that drives a Lambo, because we can all go and rent one for the day, can't we? You know, let's be honest about it. But just be realistic with yourself. You know, if someone's telling you, you can make £1 million in your first week and stuff, the likelihood that is really going to happen, and you're not ever going to do it on your own. I don't care who you are. I didn't start my business all by myself. Do you know what I mean? I had a good pocket. I was willing to do it on my own in my bedroom, but through conversations and the way it is, I still needed customers, partners, suppliers. You still need it all, so you've got to don't think you have to do everything on your own. Having a partner or a silent partner in the background, or someone picking away at you, a coach or a mentor, it's invaluable, because it does help, because they'll keep you on a level playing field.
Completely agree, mate. Absolutely brilliant. So exciting times ahead, eh?
Love it, can't wait. Yeah.
Have you got any other little golden nuggets that people could say? Did you listen to any podcasts? Have you read any good books? Or are you one that just like you've got all these creative ideas in your own head?
I have that anyway, but I wouldn't. You know, I like to read. I like this. I like to read, but I'm more so in films. Mate. I love movies. Movies and films is a massive hobby of mine. So we're just having a cinema room built at home. We don't have a living room anymore.
Do you know?
It's a cinema. Like the living room is just a cinema room. You only live there. So, but that's just because I like reading. I do, but. Movies, and I learn a lot off movies, and I think if you want to do well in business, as long as you use it correctly, like I say, don't bullshit yourself. Don't think that a movie is real, but take snippets out of things like The Godfather, like The Wolf of Wall Street. You can take things out and it educates you. But that's a lot of my education. I think The Wolf of Wall Street was a vagabond at one time, but his story's fantastic, and you can learn a lot from that. And even if it just excites you and gets you motivated, it's done what it says on the tin. That's it. It's just got you giddy for it.
It allows you to dream, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we can all dream.
With that.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you that vision, doesn't it? It gives you that this is achievable. I mean, it's a true story, isn't it?
Yeah,
it
exactly.
is a true story. Do you watch any Netflix or anything like that? Are you into any series?
Yeah. What did I watch? What's the last series that I watched? Is it? Oh God. There's a few, there's loads in there, and they come on and then they're off. What do I watch? I watch Made in Chelsea and all that. I want to be living on the King's Road. I don't think that one's ever happening, but I think
I live just off there, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, not far. No,
thanks for the invite.
No, mate. Honestly, you could touch my bed and you could touch my kitchen top in the same things. It was tiny, my little thing. But yeah, it was about a 5-minute walk from there.
It's cool though, things like that. And I mean, they make me laugh. I just think they're funny as though. But you watch that. But so the main one at the minute is Line of Duty.
Mate, I'm gonna get on it because we're going to start it tonight, I think, because everyone's going on about it.
Started from season 1 though.
Have you got to? Is it amazing?
It's quality. It's quality.
Yeah, I'll watch that. What about the Cans?
I've not watched it yet. No, I've got to watch it. I mean, he only lives up the road from me. And Peter Kay does. They only live around the road from me. He don't know me. I've seen him in Chippy once. And that's it. That's the only thing,
He's made Bolton famous, hasn't he? As well as a few others.
He put us on the map, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. Danny, this has been absolutely brilliant. And I've loved it every second. And I can't wait to come on your podcast, mate. So you need to get that up and running. But what a legend. You got like an energy around you. You got a vibe around you. But no, thank you so much for coming down.
Much appreciated, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.